What's up? Oh wait, no, I haven't done the transition. Whoopsie. I'll do that again. What's up, my hassers? I hope we're all happy today. It's the post-match phone-in. We're going to be talking about pretty much everything that's been going on this week, and you know, the little matter of beating Frank Lampard's Coventry City. And with me to discuss this, it's my co-host. It's Mark Ryman. How are we getting on, Mark?
Yeah, I'm still buzzing. Luton won, football won, and it's going to be the longest week in living history, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now we've all got to wait. Well, apart from Leeds and Bristol City fans, we've all got to wait
Yeah.
for that final game week. Oh, it's tough.
Yeah.
We'll be in the Brickies actually. So if you want to come down to the Brickies, watch the game with the OK Football lot, we'll be in the Brickies. We'll be doing a live Luton Town and Champ Chat straight afterwards. It'll be great to have you all along. All six of you that are watching at the moment, it's a pretty poor turnout. I think we're doing better when we're losing every week. Isn't that right?
Yeah, well, I think everyone's knackered, to be honest, after yesterday. I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely spent. You've already recorded two more shows than me today. But I'm still feeling it. I'm still feeling the pinch. I think you guys will be at the Brickies. I'm hopefully going to be at the Hawthorns. So I'll be there living it. I don't know what's worse. I think always watching it on the telly is more nervous, to be honest. I prefer to be there, but it's going to be nervy either way. But look, who'd have thought a month ago we'd be in the position where we've got the last game in our own hands. And an absolute credit to the turnaround from Matt Bloomfield, winning three games in a row, and not forgetting out of those three were two teams vying for the playoffs as well. And the other one was a 6 pointer away at Derby, a ground that we haven't seen a result for God knows how long. So yeah, it's been incredible, and we more than deserved the win on Saturday. I don't care about 10 versus 11. I've seen quite a lot of that. Yes, we know we need to strengthen in attack in the summer, and we'll talk about that. But you know, we were the only team wanting to play that game. Um, yeah, I've never seen time wasting like it,
It,
and
it
I've
was it
seen
was spectacular.
Collins in goal.
It was spectacular.
It was unreal. I've never seen 9 minutes in the first half when there hasn't been some kind of medical emergency. I mean, thankfully the person in the main stand was okay, but that apart from that small stoppage there, it was all based on Coventry City's unbelievable levels of time wasting. Um, and yeah, we were very unlucky. Let's be honest. Before that goal went in, not to be two or three up with the chances we had, the post, the bar, and some wondrous saves from Collins in the Cov goal
Yeah,
as well. I thought we were excellent. I really do. I think there's very little that you can pick out of that performance in a negative way. Um, so yeah, it gives me hope generally, but it certainly gives me hope ready for next week. We just got to make sure that we stay as strong as we have done in both home and away performances at the Hawthorns, and forget about other results and win the game.
yeah. Focus on the job at hand. Right. Well, we'll pull in our first caller. Let's just read some comments first. Um, what have we got here in the comment section? Good evening, everyone. Oh, 48 people watching now. Apologies if the camera is stuttering. It's probably my laptop. I've been cooking it a lot. It's already done two shows today. Um, Evening, lads. Evening, Sean M. I think you're the person we're going to be bringing in first, by the way. T Boys TV, with recent performances, always going to happen. It's always going to come down to last games for everyone. Well, it's not coming down to the
Yeah.
last game for Cardiff, is it? Mark G, you are doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Mark. Really appreciate that. Phil, good evening. T Boys TV again. Is it me or the cameras both lagging? Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think it should be sorted now. It's probably just my laptop. Sound is perfect. Yeah, it is, because carry on and Black Star amplification, right? Stefan Ortega, isn't that the goalkeeper from Man City? Hi. Yeah.
Yeah,
What was he doing?
Welcome.
Yeah, well, welcome, mate. Right, let's bring in the first person. We got Sean from Saturday. Did we meet a Sean on
Evening,
Saturday?
Sean.
Evening, Sean. Unmute yourself when you're ready.
Hi both, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you loud and clear.
Well, were you the?
How you both doing?
Yeah, doing all right. Were you the fella that we met just before I tried to get some food on Saturday?
Yes.
Hey.
So I met you guys for the first time on Saturday, and you know I thought I'd just jump on and kind of give my 2 cents. Here's the thing though, I was gonna say, here's to me kind of hoping to be the only Sean that you did meet, or at least you know of course the one that ran up to you the most excited to meet you both. But I did see a Sean M in the chat. We are two different people, so I hope he was neither of those two things. Yeah.
No, we didn't meet two Seans. I'm pretty sure it was just you, mate. So you've got that one.
Like,
Okay.
There were a few people that actually come up to us. Well, me in particular.
Yep.
I don't know about Ryman. I think people only recognise Ryman when I'm standing next to him.
Just you in particular. It's your fame. That must be what it is. It's just that fame. It just rubs off.
I'm a Z-list celebrity.
I think Mark got ahead of you there, Ryman, because he was actually on the way to meet you there, and then I caught him first, and he said, "I'm actually going to meet Ryman." So I was like, "Okay, I'll just meet you both," which is great. So, mind you, I did forget to ask for an autograph from both of you. So next time I'll ask you both for one. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we're not up to that level, certainly not. Although we did pass 2,000 subscribers on our YouTube, so that's quite
congratulations.
A big deal. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I did say to you both, you know, keep the good work going on. So yeah, we all appreciate the work that you guys do. So keep it going. So yeah, congrats to you both.
Well, thank you.
It's always a lot easier when we win games.
It is. That's probably why I'm here tonight, to be honest.
So what was your take on the game? And the final game of the season coming up.
Yeah, I think deserved win. Of course, it was a nervy one, especially the longer the game kind of went without a goal, right? But of course, deserved in the end. I think we were on the ascendancy with the early sending off. Of course, courtesy of our former Luton youth player, De Silva. I don't know if people remember that. That was a while ago.
Do you remember his two brothers?
I do. I think he's the one who's turned out the better of the trio.
Yeah.
Some of them are non-league, I do think.
One of them doesn't even play football anymore. I think.
Oh, he doesn't? Oh.
No, okay. Cole plays for Bedford, I think. Someone fact checked that for me in the chat. And Rio's not even in football anymore.
Interesting. Yeah, I did hear about that. Just knowing that, of course, he's the only one who's kind of in top level football, right? So perhaps he did a favor to us, who knows? But yeah, we were kind of banging on their door kind of after that sending off, but then it just didn't seem that there was a way in. I do also think we were kind of going a bit too long, you know, kind of with the balls that we were kind of sending in, but I kind of understand the need to kind of get it up as soon as possible, you know, to the win backs and try to get the goal. So that's kind of, you know, how I saw it, to be honest.
I think aerially they were fantastic defensively, Coventry as well. I think Morris was brilliant. For me, that was his best game of the season. But I do think that aerially, for most of the crosses, they were pretty good. It took us a good 20-25 minutes to get the delivery right from either side as well, didn't it? And I think in the second half that changed quite a lot. And we tried to play through them a lot more, playing a lot more 1-2s, and you know, should have probably taken the lead there. But yeah, you're right. It's sort of, I always wonder if it's, you know, the game plan seems to be so often we go in halftime 0-0 regardless. I mean, even Bristol City, right? I mean, that game ended up with four goals in it. Yeah, we go in at halftime 0-0, and they have a player sent off, and suddenly it's almost like, well, that's the plan out the window, and you're like, oh, well,
Yeah,
well, we have to be the dominant side now. We weren't expecting to be, and I think that threw us a little bit. Maybe I don't know what you think, or Ollie, but it felt like a bit like that. Like we took a bit of time to adjust to being the side that now we're expected to win.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I kind of echo that, and I think Bloomfield even mentioned that kind of the game plan. You mentioned the game plan there. I think he mentioned that in the kind of post-match kind of interview. He said, yeah, the game plan kind of went out of the window after that. So
Well, we
Yeah.
never play well against 10 people. Never.
yeah,
Especially
No, it's true.
when a team sets up to defensively frustrate as well. It makes it. It just makes it so much harder. And I always remember Nathan Jones got absolutely panned when he said it is harder playing against 10 men. Like when you're trying to come back into a game, like if you're losing, and
Yeah.
everyone laughed at him. He's bang on the money. He always is, Nathan
on,
Jones.
yeah.
Well, he's not always bang on the money. I think he said that. Did he not say that with Southampton? That wasn't with
Yeah.
us, was it?
Yeah,
That
yeah. It
with
was Southampton versus
Yeah, but
Wolves.
after he just sold everybody that statistically he was a
Exactly.
better manager than Pep Guardiola. This is the problem. It's the context of him. But
He's
I,
not
I
wrong.
don't disagree with
He's
him,
not
but
wrong.
He's not always bang on the money.
He was talking
slightly
about.
different
He
context,
was
mate.
talking.
He was in League One.
No. He was in League Two. He was talking about his League
Oh, is
Two
he talking about
Luton
League Two?
Town team.
Oh, League Two.
No
right.
one
Yeah, I
in
know
the
he was,
Football
yeah.
League scored more goals than Luton Town that season.
Yeah, but Man City weren't playing. Those sides were they? The 7 goals versus Stevenage and Cambridge and all of that stuff. But anyway,
8 against Yeovil.
oh yeah, Yeovil. That's who I was trying to think of. I was like, who is it? Who was it? Who did we beat on the first game of the season? 8-2.
8-2.
Yeah,
What a game.
8-2. Yeah. Oh, yeah, mental. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, I agree with that. I think Lewis today, if I'm not mistaken, Lewis Williams,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to jump on today, but he was talking about a stat, something to do with how bad we are with 10 men across kind of the last 3 managers, if I'm not mistaken. I was watching that earlier today, so
Yeah,
I don't know if you
I'll tell
both
I'll
saw
tell him
that
to
or-
jump on. Are you
Yeah.
jumping on, Lewis? There you go.
I hope he does. He can kind of clarify that. So, but yeah, the
Yeah.
record's not great against 10 men.
I think some of that as well is that we aren't a possession dominant side. I know that at
No.
one point that was Edward's plan. I think at some. I mean, who knows? But that was at least the plan. But when you're not a possession dominant side, when you rely on that sort of, I'd say counter attacking because it's not always what we do, but the more direct style of play, then against 10 men that's often a lot harder because you can still pat the box with 10 men. It's similar to what we did against Portsmouth, isn't it? Exactly the same. I think
Yeah.
they play that sort of style of football, and actually us going down to 10 just nullified our attack, but it didn't make them look any more likely to score. So it's the same problem, and you knew as soon as they got to half time that if we didn't score within 10 minutes of the first half, and I'm sure this would have been Frank Lampard's team talk, if we didn't score within the first 10 minutes of the second half, then the momentum is likely to start to shift. And we're very unlucky not to. But yeah, it's crazy that the goal came when we were least likely to as well, but it probably did come because those players that had been concentrating and focused for the whole of that 90 minutes, those keeper who had a blinder, let's be honest. I know he's got a mistake in him, Collins, but he had a blinder that game. Probably maybe just that moment of relaxation means that you come out for a ball and clatter your own defender.
That was
and then,
wonderful.
It was wonderful. I love the fact the defender went down as if he'd been hurt, trying to waste some more time, only to realise that it's his own goalkeeper that punches him in the face. That's absolute comedy gold, and no one deserves it more than Collins as well.
Absolutely,
because he's an absolute shithouse of a goalkeeper. But yeah, I mean, it was probably a little bit of a symptom of that. I mean, it was mental. I'm sure we'll talk about both of the red cards. I mean, for me, The first one was a red. I think on first glance of the replay, it doesn't look like he touched him, but if you look at the replay from behind, I think he does catch
He
his
did clip
leg. And I
him.
think
He did. I've
I
watched
think
it
he
3
does.
times now. We
Yeah.
discussed it on the Luton Town show.
Yeah.
That drops tomorrow. Check it out. Champ Chat is already up. I've watched it. When I watched it live, I was like, that's a red. And I watched a replay on my phone, and I was like, oh, that's he's dived. And then I watched it back on a bigger screen, and I'm like, yeah, he's run across him, and he's clipped the back of his feet with his knee.
Back of his feet.
Yeah, with his knee.
Yeah.
He's purposely run across him. So
Yeah.
nailed on Reds. Textbook.
Yeah. Nailed on Brent. Yeah, the Liam Walsh one's ridiculous, in my opinion, and as is some of the reaction from some of the fans. Now, I'm sure we'll get some of this in the chat as well, so feel free to join in on this one. My personal view is that Liam Walsh was man of the match, apart from that moment, but I actually think that
Wasn't
it's
deserved.
not even. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's not deserved yet. It's not even a yet. It's not even close to a yellow. I'm with Bloomfield on this.
It's
I mean,
not.
it's ridiculous. You would give 10 to 15 red cards a game if you were going to red card that. If anything, it's interesting, isn't it, that Walsh gets the stick that he gets. No one's talking about Isaiah Jones. Now, I'm not saying it is a red card, but it's more of a red card than Walsh's kicking out. Yeah, that doesn't get a mention. He gets yellow carded for that, doesn't he? But that's crazy. I'm really hoping that gets rescinded. At least it was a straight red and we have the opportunity to appeal. But
yeah, I mean, I kind of liken it to, like, for example, Casemiro in the Premier League, right? A bit of a stigma, because there was a point where Casemiro, for whatever tackle that he would do, he would just get a red card or a yellow card automatically. So I kind of think
should have been sent off against Luton, I seem to remember as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Kenilworth Road definitely should have been sent off and didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I think the stigma's kind of around Liam Walsh, of course, given what he kind of did, a few months back, right? So I kind of feel like with him, it's kind of like, okay, it's Liam Walsh, and he must have done something kind of, kind of rash.
100%.
But yeah, he did. I mean, he didn't need to get involved. I don't know if I'd like to think he's seen McGuinness enough in training to know that McGuinness is a big unit and he can kind of handle himself.
Yeah.
He didn't need to jump in.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if McGuinness can't handle him, then 5 foot nothing.
Then it'd be an issue. Yeah.
Struggle as well.
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
But I would say this: we were all caught up in the emotion of the game at that point. It's an emotional game as a human being, and people push. I mean, Morris and McGuinness are both more guilty in that particular move than Walsh is as well. They've been time wasting for 80 minutes. A push is going to happen. He's a human being. I get what you're saying. In hindsight, he would have, of course, not have done it. I'm not suggesting that he's on a yellow card. He needs to be more sensible and not get involved and do a sort of Glenn Ray against Swansea in the last relegation battle and jump around the player instead. Something like that would have been better, right? But
no, absolutely. I mean, as you say, it's human nature, right?
Yeah, and without Walsh, for me, we're not in the position that we are. We're not with it in our own hands. He controlled that game, and he's
absolutely.
He has been that midfield control that we were lacking so much.
He's redeemed himself. He's redeemed himself. 100%. He's redeemed himself. I mean, even when you mentioned that, a few people kind of thought initially it was Morris who has got the sending off, isn't it? So, but yeah, no, he's redeemed himself since then. It's unfortunate. Hopefully, it does get kind of overturned and he can kind of be there for West Brom. Just kind of on the I guess it's my last point I kind of mentioned on the keeper. Now you said he had a blind there, Ryman, but it's funny because I had I have a mate who's a Coventry fan.
They hate him.
And we were discussing the game.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I didn't know this prior, and he kind of told me this post-match, and he was just like, yeah, he's an awful keeper, always makes a mistake. And I quote, actually, he said, our keeper's useless. He keeps making blunders like this every game. I reckon his wrists are made of spaghetti. Now, I replied to him and I said, I had to ask him this literally to clarify. And I asked him basically, which type of spaghetti are we talking? Are we talking cooked or uncooked? Because cooked can be flexible whilst uncooked tends to be a bit stiff. So I didn't know which one he was referring to. I'd like to think because he mentioned he's very... not the greatest of keepers, that he was talking about the uncooked spaghetti because it's a bit stiffer. And he probably makes saves if he was a bit more of a cooked version. But yeah,
just show him that save. Show him that save that he made against Walsh, because that was
Walsh,
that was like 1,000 bits of spaghetti all bound together, because that was
It
solid.
really
That
was,
was a
wasn't it?
strong hands that he got to that. Because that,
Yeah,
was,
but-
that was
but
going
guys,
in the roof
yeah.
of the net.
It
It's
was.
a
It
Seaman
was.
Sluga issue, though, isn't it? I mean, Sluga did that. He made saves like that, and then let one go under his feet at Derby. It feels it's that kind of issue they've got with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he did make some phenomenal saves in that game, and without those saves, it would have been 2-0 before that point. That's definitely true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a colossal mess up from him, and obviously, who was it who put the ball in the back of the net? Was it Binks in the end? I can't remember who
It was Jar Jar.
I think it was.
It was
Jar Jar,
Binks,
was it? Okay.
yeah. But yeah, he put it. But you know, between the two of them, it was ridiculous. But yeah, it's
Absolutely.
yeah. I think as well, when you think of the goalkeeper they got sitting on the bench, then
Yeah, they
it's
had
a
Ben
surprise
Wilson, didn't they? But he's not getting anywhere near it. He's like third choice right now.
Crazy, isn't it?
Right, we should get our next caller in because we
Yeah.
have been talking for a while. Sean, appreciate you, mate.
Lovely,
Thank you
guys.
very much.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Keep
sure.
your work going.
Thank you so
See you
much.
soon. Take
Cheers.
care. Bye now. Bye.
Right, so
Yeah,
that
just-
that was Sean that we met on Saturday. He came up to us. It's really nice meeting people that listen as well, and yeah, we really appreciate you all.
Thank you to all those. Yeah, thank you to all that came up to us, and especially Ollie, of course, but to us who were there. No, we do appreciate it, and it's nice. It's nice to get some positive recognition and not just going, "Oh, I hate you. You're an idiot." So that's nice. I haven't had that yet, but I'm sure I will at some point.
There's one fella that comes up to me, guy with a beard. I think he sits near Deggy. And he's very superstitious. So he always comes up to me, and I'm always like on my way to get a beer or to get some food. And because this was the case, this is what was happening the first time I ever met him, and we won. He does that every single time. He comes up, he said, "I'm not going to stay and talk to you because, you know, we did this last time and you were on your way to get a beer. And then we won. So I'm just going to come, say hello, and then say goodbye. I've never actually got this guy's name because he literally talks to me for about 3 seconds just so he can tick off his list. Yeah.
He's still doing that this season after everything else.
Well-
surely we've lost enough games now for him to stop.
Well, since he started coming up to me, we've won all our home
Oh, it's
games.
been then. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
he
sure.
didn't
Right.
come up
Right, I
for the
thought you meant
Blackburn
like
game.
the start of the season.
No. At the start of the season, no one
okay,
knew
yeah.
who I was. I was just that bloke that
Nobody. Now
everyone
look at
thought
you.
was negative. Yeah, now look at me. I'm Mr.
Now look at you in your
Positivity.
Hawaiian shirt. Bringing out the positives.
I'm
Oh,
super
dear.
positive. Right,
Yeah.
we're bringing in another Mark. 2 Marks in the room.
What will the universe do? Yeah.
Yeah,
Evening, Mark.
Hello, how's it going?
yeah, all good. Thank you for
Yeah,
calling
good.
in, Mark.
Yeah, no worries. How are we doing?
Yeah, well,
Positive.
still knackered.
Feeling positive.
Well, I'm feeling
Yeah,
knackered.
absolutely.
Like that game yesterday completely wiped me out, and Ryman
Yeah.
as well. He was
Yeah.
busy.
Well,
He was ready to launch himself at Ellis Sims in the second half.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot for 7:30 in the morning for me. I was going through all the emotions that early in the day. But it's good. I mean, here we are. We're at the table.
In our hands.
We're at the table. It's all you can ask for is to be at the table this time of the year when we're in the position we're in. It had to get done, and good teams create their luck. I believe in that. So, and that's what we deserved.
Do you think it's all different now under Bloomfield? Do you think we are able to create our luck as opposed to under Rob Edwards, where we were just creating big steamy turds on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I mean, the last time I came in here was after the Pompey win, and that was still early, I feel, but we've seen enough now. I mean, what is it, 9 where we've only lost once here? 3 wins on the bounce? It's noticeably different, more than noticeably, in my opinion. I think Walsh, I think anyone that's giving him serious stick for yesterday, I mean, I've seen on TikTok, this is why he shouldn't have ever put the shirt on again.
This is
I
why
think
you
that's-
shouldn't be using TikTok. It's a
Yeah,
trash,
exactly.
trash
Sums it.
application.
It's on it. It's on Twitter as well, but that's also a cesspit.
Yeah,
so, I agree.
Twitter's awful. You know, you won't find me on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram
yeah.
or Facebook. All cesspits.
Both can be they can all be a disgrace. You get everything on those platforms, but yeah, if we haven't had him, it would be, he's really redeemed himself, and I think anyone giving him legitimate stick for yesterday isn't really understanding, what he means for the last 10, 15 games. And I hope that does get appealed. I do think it deserves. I think, what was it, Kitching 15?
Yeah.
Holding his face. He should go to. He
What
should get a card for dissent. That was
what a
horrendous.
melt!
What he did.
What a
Yeah,
melt!
Jen.
And if I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that ball went in, the Baptiste shot went in off him, I was laughing so
No,
hard.
it was
I
but
mean,
it was
it wasn't
Binks.
him.
It was Jar Jar.
He's the
Binks.
one that collided into the keeper, though,
Yeah.
wasn't he, Kitchen? So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he played a part in it, but he's the one
Yeah,
that
they
went
all-
for again. I think.
they deserved it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
you create your luck. If they're gonna sit there and time waste like you guys were saying for 80 plus minutes, I mean, that's just what you get. And it's a lucky bounce. And on a personal thing for Baptiste, you got to be happy for the guy. He's been out. He's been a major disappointment. He comes from Brentford. You think he can do something. He doesn't play, and then he knocks it in, and it's one of the biggest goals of the season, if not the biggest. So,
allow me to play devil's advocate here about Baptiste. That was
go on.
That was a terrible shot.
Oh, it was disgraceful.
Yeah. Like, I think the reason why it got deflected in was because Jar Jar on the line was expecting a howitzer, got a P roller, so he couldn't sort his feet out, and he just lost his footing and ended up like Jar Jar as well. He's a left-footed player. He's a left-footed centre back, and he ended up trying to clear it with his right because he got his feet all wrong because he was expecting like to have to put his body on the line for that. And then it was like, oh no, this is going to my feet. What am I doing with my feet?
Realistically, they both got it all wrong, but two negatives equal a positive. So that's the way I'm looking at it. But
yeah, I can't believe Baptiste got Sky Sports Man of the Match. That just that just reeks of no one watching the game.
Oh, I know. I mean, for me, I agree with you, Mark. I think it's Walsh. I think he was great. Obviously, he shouldn't be going in like that. But like I said, if you're giving him serious stick for that, like then you got to feel bad for the guy. But I thought Asgard again. He was good. I like players that can shoot, and he's done that. I think that's what we're lacking, the confidence to take it on. And if there's one guy in that 11 that's not scared to shoot, it's him. So yeah, I thought he was good too. I did.
Yeah. Well, we've got Walsh and Asgard now that are capable and are hitting, some fantastic shots on a regular basis. I mean, Walsh has been very unlucky not to score a couple of times from distance, and Asgard has. I can't remember how many times he's hit the woodwork from long distance or been close.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? I think we've got to raise our goals a little bit bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's got.
But we've got people other than Clark who's willing to have a pop from outside the area, and that for the start of the season just wasn't the case, was it? We were desperate for people to just have a bloody shot. So yeah, it's great to see. And look, I'm with everyone, and I saw Kate and a couple of others in the comments saying he's an idiot for going in and pushing somebody while he's on the yellow. I can't disagree with it. I doubt he would disagree with it there either. By the way, I just think he would have. This happens all the time. How many times have we seen Morris, for God's sake, pushing people in the box? All the time. I mean, all the time. Holding people, pulling defenders down, often while he's on a yellow card. And it's part and parcel of the game. I'm sorry, but yes, all right. Ball was dead at that point, and there is an argument for it. But yeah. Just hope it gets rescinded because I really feel like he has a part to play. Interestingly, on Baptiste as well, if Walsh's red card doesn't get rescinded, there's a big opportunity for him. Probably not from the start, but from the bench, you imagine he might well come on there to make a difference.
I reckon Clark walks in.
This might not be the end.
Clark.
100%. Clark would start. Yeah. 100% agree with you. But I think Baptiste may well have a role to play, so this might not be the end of that particular story when it comes to Baptiste. And we know, like Walsh, when he's fit, which is not often, but he's got a cross, he's got a pass on him. So, yeah, you never know. There are options there, but I'd love to see Walsh start that game. I really would.
So what do you think ahead of West Brom, Mark? Not you, Roman. Mark.
I know you.
I mean, you feel better now, right? That they pretty much haven't, if I'm not mistaken, they're done. So,
but that can still be dangerous.
Yeah.
It definitely can. You don't want to trip yourself up. But as just from a fan perspective, I have no idea what they're gonna throw at us. I don't. But you like the fact, I guess, that they're not playing for any. I wouldn't want to go to Bristol City at home and play them. I'd rather go to West Brom. So it's going to be tough. I mean, they're not a joke. They're no mug, but there's nothing left for them. So you hope that ends up being a positive, and you don't feed into that. You can't feed into that though, like you said, because you can really get yourself in trouble there. So yeah.
Yeah. No, fair play. I find it's always the ones where they got nothing to play for that are the most dangerous, really.
Mhm.
Like, for instance, we're playing Coventry, who had almost everything to play for. They could have solidified their playoff spot, and they choked.
Yep.
All their star players, Ellis Sims, did nothing. Sakamoto had to go off early. Sakamoto is probably the one I was most worried about. And Haji Wright. I didn't know.
Nothing in the air.
I didn't
Nothing.
know. I didn't know he was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word on Mark McGuinness for that as well.
Oh my god! It's just
the guy
the
has
whole
been
the
an
whole
absolute
defensive back
brick wall.
line.
Yeah, all of them, but Mark McGuinness
Yeah.
for me, just because again, a bit like Walsh, he took a fair bit of stick when we were struggling at the start, probably mostly down to his price tag. But in the last few games, I mean, Derby was unbelievable. It's the best defensive display I've seen for a very long time, probably since Pearson and Bradley in League One. Though it was phenomenal, and again, I mean, Haji Wright, we know he's dangerous with his feet and in the air. He's a big lump. He outmuscles lots of defenders. He got no change at all out of that defense, did he?
Yeah, it's transformed. The back line, it's like McGuinness. That price tag got a lot of stick. I feel like everyone knew, he could be a good player. He was at Cardiff, and it was just going to take him a minute. But that price tag to me now, he's been nothing short of what we paid for him, and especially what it means at this end of the season. Especially, he's been great.
He's
He's
gotten
a beast.
better every game. Every game he gets
He's a
better.
beast.
Yeah.
There's captain material there, which is, it's another thing you want. There's a leader mentality. You can see when, I mean, of course I'm watching, from a TV or a laptop, but when it cuts to him, he's talking. He's trying to be that leader, and you love to see that. So yeah, he was great, and Makoso feeds off him. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, Mark, we're gonna get you gone because we got people queuing up in the green room. Thank you very much for joining us.
Awesome. It
We
was a pleasure,
appreciate it.
guys.
Yeah, call back, mate.
Great
Call
name.
back. Where are you based?
I'm out of Boston.
Boston. Well, that was a
Boston,
terrible
yep.
Boston.
That was terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Cup
Terrible.
of tea.
Harbour.
I can't do a Boston accent. What's the
Terrible.
Boston accent?
Park the car at the harbour. I need some chowder.
Oh yeah, it's
there
like
it is.
it's like The Departed, right?
I was gonna
all
say
that.
I was waiting for you to
Yeah.
mention The Departed. There you go.
Are you a co-op? He's a co-op.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
I'm really sorry, Mark. Yeah.
It's always a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
Appreciate
cheers, brother.
you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
gonna try and perfect my Boston accent for the next time that Mark's
You've got
on.
a long way to go. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to
A
think
few
what that is. Yeah, go on. Read
No, a
the
few other
comments.
people in the chat just mentioning Kaminsky as well. I think that I'm sure someone will, so I won't go too much. But there's some lovely moments there, wasn't there? And I can't imagine what it's like to lose your dad in a different country, have to fly over there, fly back, and play a professional game of football with everything on the line. I just cannot imagine how his head was for that game. So, absolute hats off to him. I think he was incredible, on the pitch and then obviously afterwards as well. So eloquently talking about the influence that his dad had on him. So, yeah, just amazing. And Kaminsky recently as well. And it wasn't that long ago since he was getting quite a lot of stick as well. Probably since the Oxford game, really. He has been back to the keeper that we loved last season and absolutely dominating his box as well. Thoughts to it, but what an incredible kind of performance that was. He didn't have to do a huge amount, admittedly. But yeah, what a tough week that must have been for him.
Yeah. I'd still rather have, even though he didn't have to do much, I'd still rather have him than Ethan Horvath every
God,
day
yeah,
of
tell me
the
about it.
week. Right, so we've got Tyler now, and then we'll get Kevin Cutler, and then, we'll see how time goes, but we'll probably get in Twitter's least favourite hashtag #InTubLock Here We Trust after that. We'll see if we can get through everyone and take even more callers as they come in. Tyler, good evening, mate.
Good evening, guys.
Yeah.
Good evening.
How's the
Your voice
voice?
sounds like my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Someone's
emotions
been
yesterday.
celebrating. Yeah.
It was there was a lot, wasn't there, to unpack from that game emotionally.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was another one of them, I guess, typical home performances under Bloomfield, in the sense of we're very dominant, but there's a large part of spells where we don't quite take our chances, and then we eventually did right at the end, Baptiste, and it was frustrating because you look at it and you think Walsh had an exceptional game up until the red card, and you're thinking to yourself, the yellow card he got before that, I didn't mind it because I thought it was quite a tactical foul. But then the second one, obviously to confirm the one which was obviously then the red card, was a bit frustrating. But then you're thinking he's had such a good game. He had that shot. He nearly scored. You're thinking, this would be typical now for us to go on and lose 1-0, because it has happened a few times under Bloomfield, like Sheffield United, for example. But no, Baptiste come on, and if you've seen my channel, obviously you'd have seen I've been heavily critical.
Oh, that is not my internet as to why he is cutting out.
It happened to me as well. So it's probably his. I'll just say, while we're waiting for Tyler, I know where he's going with it. I agree with Baptiste, but you've also got to blame the recruitment for that as well. We knew how injury prone he was, when we signed him. So yes, I get it. I get the kind of frustration towards him, but it's not like we didn't know. It's not like he's suddenly fallen down injured and we're all massively surprised about it. And we had him and Liam Walsh, and Liam Walsh was taken until 8-9 games ago to get going as well. And yeah, that's a conversation probably for later on, isn't it? But it's difficult to just blame Shander Baptiste for being injury prone, isn't it? Really, we knew it. I'm sure he'd be out there if he could be.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, sorry, you're back.
Hey, hello.
Yeah, no, sorry about that. But yeah, no, like I was saying, but like you said as well, Mark, we did know that. I mean, I've got a cousin who's a Brentford fan. He's got a season ticket. He goes every week, and he was saying, on his day he can be really good. It's just they just didn't quite keep hold of him because of the injuries. But he got a vital goal. It was one of them where he just put pressure on the defender essentially, which forced him into obviously trying to clear it away, and obviously he didn't. And it was a great impact. I mean, I think the chance after, when the ball was played across, I believe that was from Baptiste as well again, where Asgard took the heavy touch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. That should have buried it, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
Crazy. And there was someone else with him, wasn't there? Who else was with him next to him?
Chong.
Was it Chong? Yeah. Because they were like queuing up, weren't they? I was like, yeah, couldn't believe it.
And I actually wanted Chong to come on a bit earlier, because I remember the reverse fixture against Coventry. I would say Chong was actually one of our better players that day. I remember there was a moment where I think it was from our defensive box, I think he ran through like 3 players and then went on the break. He earned the penalty we got that game as well. Yeah, so it was one of them where the decisions by Bloomfield did definitely did work in this game, and it was good, because from there on in, when it's 10 men each, you're thinking we might lose 1-0 with just how it went, or not quite get the win in the end, but we did, and it was much needed. And it was, for me, I said it on my vlog that I did, it was thoroughly deserved, because we were just on them, like, quite very dominant, and obviously we did have a lot of chances, and like I say, Walsh did have a really good game. It was just that moment which just let him down. But I definitely be open to keeping him definitely going forward, because he has shown that element of much better stuff when he has played. It's like I said before this game. He just needs that goal for me, and then he'll basically have that redemption arc fully.
Yeah.
I was frustrated at the time, because I'm thinking, it's the third one. It is a bit silly to do when you're already on a yellow. Because obviously it is a bit of a silly push to do. Like I said, I didn't mind the yellow card he got before. I thought that was a tactical foul, but when I was thinking of that, I was thinking, yes, because how good his performance was, how influential it was. There was later stages in the first half where they were doubling up on him as well, and it still weren't really working. He was still managed, to pick out pass, get through, do other bits as well. So, based on that, I was, yes.
Mm. They didn't see it. Yeah. Exactly. That didn't help. Yeah. That same kid gave it to Frank Lampard, had a little word with him. I mean, he was having it left, right, and centre, that kid. Fair play to him. He's got his money's worth there. But I think that the bit that really frustrated me, as you said, is that people are booing, and you can't see a thing from E Block up there as the other end of the pitch. So you're booing it on the assumption that he's got a cut. I mean, the ref is the ref's job to manage the game, and the ref got it horrifically wrong. It's a horrendous decision. It's a straight red card as well. So while all the comments about him being on a yellow and it's silly, all of that stuff, fair enough. But it was a straight red. So if you look at it from a ref point of view, that as a straight red is an absolutely horrendous decision, and not enough, I think, is being made of that. As you said, Ollie, in the post match, he's just waiting to even it up, as refs often do when it goes down to 10 men. He's waiting to even it up. I've never seen a red card come out quicker. Unreal. So look, it should get rescinded. It really should, and at least, like we've said, it gives us the opportunity. But yeah, he was pulling the strings. I think Coventry couldn't believe their luck when it was him that got the red. Absolutely.
Everyone was
Yeah,
saying
and
I
another
was
thing I
muted,
will.
by the way. I'm back now. Hello.
Yeah, I was just going to say, another thing I was going to say as well is, I can't remember his name. It was the one with a really long name that began with an L. For me, he should have been.
Lasabodier.
That's the one. Yeah, for me, he should have been sent off, because there's instances of continuation of challenges where he should have got, at least 2 yellows at one stage. I believe he was the one who, there was a stage where, I think it might have been Morris, he got fouled 2 or 3 times in a build up to one little situation. And it was obviously I believe he was the one who done the kick out on Walsh as well in the first half. So for me, he should have been off as well on top of that. And thankfully, eventually, their keeper got a yellow card as well, because I thought he was time
A
wasting
bit
like crazy.
late though. A bit late. I
Yeah,
think he got
I
that in
totally
the
agree.
65th minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
crazy.
totally agree. Because you've seen with, for example, when we played Portsmouth away, when Kaminsky got it really early, like for me, their keeper, you sort of knew what he was going to try and do the whole game in that sense. He should have got it, as early as that, for example.
Yeah. It's like those things, though, isn't it? I think there was at the start of the season. There's always these kind of focus, isn't there, from the PGML or whoever it is that deal with it, and for referees, the EFL and referees, there's always like a focus. And at the start of the season, it was all about keepers wasting time, and I think against Pompey was just a victim of that being so early on in the season. Obviously, the second yellow, no one's going to argue with that one in that game. But yeah, I think that's all it is, and it always happens. Refs are really hot on it for the first 5-6 games, and then after then they forget about it, and it goes back to normal. It's always the same with whatever it is they're focusing on.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
Tyler, what do you make? What do you think ahead of West Brom?
It's like you say, it's difficult to play teams that have nothing to play for because there's sort of like a unknown identity. And I think of games against West Brom over the years. I think there's been a lot of draws that I can really think of. The last one was obviously a 0-0. You know, ideally, obviously, we need to just confirm it, sort of go for the win. But I've just got a feeling that it might be a draw. But hopefully, on other results, it could be enough. But obviously, I hope. Got Mark.
No, I was just going to say this. Look, I'm going to try and swing the positives because I was gutted when Derby scored, but then I've been thinking about it, and in a way, there is a way of spinning this that Derby winning is a good result for lots of reasons. Firstly, it keeps Stoke in it, right? So obviously Derby play Stoke, big game, and Stoke are now not safe for that reason. So they've got to come out and win. You've got Preston away, I think, at Bristol City. I know they're playing Bristol City. I can't remember whether it's a home or away tie. But obviously Bristol City, unless they beat Leeds, are going to still need the points to stay in the playoffs. So that's massive too. There's so many teams on 49 points. In a way, if we needed just a draw, that scares me more. I think I feel more nervous about all we need is a point because I don't know about you, but I don't like the idea of Luton just needing a point in a game and the mentality that is likely to bring, whether we design it for that or not, of just sitting back. Whereas now we need to win to be sure. I feel like that will encourage us to play like we have done over the last few weeks. So I feel more positive in that way. And look, West Brom's last home game was a 3-1 loss to Derby, and they don't give that was a well-deserved 3-1. Derby absolutely hammered them that game. They were lucky to get one goal. And I'm not suggesting that'll happen again, but I also saw highlights, and I say highlights in the loosest possible sense, of Derby versus Hull. And it was like the Cardiff game first half, but for the whole game. It was utterly... So the fact that they conceded 3 to that Derby team means that we should have some optimism. I'm not saying we're going to do it, but there's some optimism there. And us needing to win, I feel like, is a good thing.
In more ways than one as well, like needing to win... it also carries on that momentum into next season as well. Like 4 in a row, it's sort of like a 9-dart finish, isn't it? You finish on a double or a triple. I actually don't watch any darts. I just know the term 9-dart finish. Finish on 9-dart or the bullseye or whatever the part of the dartboard you want to finish on is, and then you carry that momentum. You carry that momentum into next year.
This analogy started really well.
Oh, thank you. Okay,
your lack of knowledge of darts has destroyed it.
Have a pint, have a smoke, and then go and play some more football next season.
Just say Luke Littler. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. 9 darts is the minimum. Minimum that you can win a round of. See, I don't know what it's called either, but that's it. You have to get
a round of darts.
A round of darts. Kate, yeah. Sorry, Kate. We'll stop talking now because that was terrible. But yes, exactly. You're right. It does breed confidence, and it's good for the kind of squad and kind of recruitment decisions we might have to make as well. It will give other players possibly coming into us a bit more hope that we can do something next season.
Yeah, but we should get our next caller in.
I feel better.
Well, we need to. We have 10 minutes remaining. Tyler, appreciate you, mate. Reminder to everyone: subscribe to Tyler if you aren't already. Tyler's got more followers than us, so if you're subscribed to Tyler and you're not subscribed here, subscribe to us. Forget about Tyler. Tyler, are you going to be going up to West Brom for the game?
No, I'm actually not.
Are you going to go to the Brickies for the game?
Yeah, I was considering it after you said that. I was considering it. So yeah, I probably will, to be fair.
All right, I'll see you there, mate. We'll have a open mic for people to jump on.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, guys.
See you there. Have a good evening, mate.
Tyler.
Bye.
Andrew.
Right, so that was Tyler. Subscribe to his Tyler. Subscribe to his channel. Kate has stuck the link to his channel in the description. And right, let's bring in Twitter's most despised. It's hashtag in Tom Lockyer we trust.
It's nice to have a Cov fan come in, though, isn't it? Nice to get the other side of things.
Let's trash him before we bring him in.
I don't mind doing it while he's
Oh,
here.
you
I'll
done
point
it.
him
Yeah,
already,
lovely,
just-
lovely.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the loss, Si.
What do you mean? Oh, very funny.
How you coping?
Look, it's not my fault that they like me, right? It's not my fault.
Yeah, the Pied Piper of Rico.
Oh, mate. No, man, I like them. I think their fan base is actually really funny.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they have a great
No.
crack, honestly.
Yeah, but you lose all. You don't really like them anymore because they got Frank Lampard, who's just a bit of a knob.
No, it's not their fault. It's not the fans' fault. To be fair, he's done all right.
I disagree. I disagree. If you look at it, Coventry have one of the best squads in the league, hands down.
So
And
do we.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We have a very imbalanced squad. Coventry have been refining a squad for the past 2 seasons, 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They've been putting together a fantastic squad. And last season, they should have gone up. They have slow starts every season. This season was an atrocious start, obviously compounded by the fact that AD Vivash had a massive bust up with Mark Robbins.
Yeah, that was massively unsettling for them.
Yeah, it's sort of like Clough and Taylor, Mark Robbins and AD Vivash. Obviously, Vivash was very, very important for Mark Robbins, and they lost
kept
it.
saying that to me at the time.
What, your mates, the Cobb fans?
They were all saying at the time that Mark Robbins about that guy, it's going to go wrong. And they were right.
Yeah. Obviously, Mark Robbins is a little bit of a fraud, and AD Vivash is the genius, the brains behind the operation. Who would have thought?
Right, should we get into this then?
Go on, then.
Yeah, please.
First off, I am pleased for Shandon Baptiste. I think he really needed that. I think he needed that so desperately. It was nice to see after the horrendous year he's had. So fair play, Shandon Baptiste. You've had an impact at a very important time, and I respect it. No bad words for Shandon Baptiste from me today. Liam Walsh, oh my God, right? Sending off aside, that was the Liam Walsh show. It really was. He was given so much space. I saw at one point that Sheep was shouting at Hadji Wright to drop back and try to get on Liam Clark, but it was pointless. Liam Clark, fantastic yesterday. I think the referee was looking to level it up, and I think Liam Walsh was he just made the referee have a decision to make about it, sadly. I think that it will get rescinded. I don't think that was a straight red card. Come on now, let's not be silly. I thought he was great, and I'm going to overlook that red card there because we got the result in the end, and he's very lucky about that. But I thought he was amazing. Thomas Kaminski, assured again, confident. Clearly, he needs a defence in front of him that's settled. Our defence is fantastic now, by the way. It really is back to how I think Luton Town defences should be.
Yeah, completely. And it's crazy how we went from not having 2 defenders to rub together to having so many defenders.
It's wonderful.
Now. Yeah, it's mad.
And that consistency.
Let's talk about
right,
Carlton
as well.
Morris as well. Carlton Morris, the last few games has been immense. This is the Carlton Morris that we want to see. Not Carlton Morris getting lost by the midfield or on the wings. Carlton Morris having an impact and dragging defenders around. Wonderful. He looks knackered, but he's found that yard of pace that he's been missing most of the season. Carlton Morris, fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't say enough praise about him for the last couple of games. I'm feeling confident, lads. I think that all these permutations that we're all talking about, I think Hull are going to lose. I don't think Hull get another point this season. I think that it will be Hull or Preston to go down. I think it will be Hull. That's definitely where I'm leaning.
Pompey are tough away from home, definitely. I mean, Hull are a better side away than at home, but doesn't mean much. But yeah, you're probably right. I just, it's hard to feel that'll happen. But yeah, no one's got an easy fixture though. You know, in fact, if you look at it on paper, you'd probably rather have ours than anybody else's, right?
I think we have done enough with Bristol City and Coventry. I think those two results were massive. When I was looking at it, I didn't see us getting a single point from them not so long ago. And what two incredible wins. I was having a look at the last 11 games and the form and goals conceded. We're only behind Burnley in the last 11 games. We've conceded the same number of goals as them. We pulled a rabbit out of the hat because we looked dead and buried, and we really did. How much of this season have us three spent lamenting bad things? None of us wanted to do that. We want to be happy. What I'm seeing in front of me now is great.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I said to Ollie when we were sort of organising the pod for this year, and I said, well, it'd be great to have the phone in this year because at least in the Championship, we can talk about a few more wins than the Prem, and I felt like I'd last season just from that one comment. But you're right. I think the last few weeks, and you're praising people. I think no more praise than Matt Bloomfield there, and look, where all the people calling him a glorified PE teacher a mere 2 weeks ago. I think the guy deserves a huge amount of credit. Mentality, as has been said by yourself and others, but mentality is such a hard thing to turn around, particularly this late in the day, of a team that is so used to losing for the best part of 2 seasons. To be able to turn that around, to have the belief. I mean, it was mentioned earlier, I think by Mark, who we brought on earlier, about the Pompey game. You look at that Pompey game, that 1-0, we barely clung on in that game. I mean, they missed an absolute sitter, didn't they, at the end, really early in his tenure, to now, where despite the Derby pressure in that game, and for me, by the way, the Derby win was probably the most impressive of those 3 because it had the biggest pressure on it, and it was against a team that we know can deal with what we can throw at them in terms of the aerial threat. But anyway, I think the amount of pressure that they tried to put on us, but realistically, maybe bar the McGuinness clearance off the line, I don't remember us letting them in to have really any kind of clear-cut opportunities. I mean, I know we're all having kittens watching it, but that defence, that solidity, as you said, is just chalk and cheese. And now, away from home, we are as convincing as we were at home. It's mad to think the away form and how that's changed from no win since the Millwall game to what we're looking at now. So
what a wonderful job he's done.
Yeah,
he's done a wonderful job. And I was saying, even when things were going wrong, I went, look, Matt Bloomfield deserves next season no matter what. He's come into a ship that's sinking very quickly. And not only has he steadied the ship, we're sailing forward. I honestly, what a manager. If you I kept an eye on Wickham recently. And Wickham, since he's gone, have gone downhill. They look set to be going up automatic. That hasn't happened. I'm reading their fans' comments. They reckon they're going to get absolutely tanked in the playoffs. So what you've got a one, and we are now firing. So I think there's a correlation there.
Yeah, that's what happens at the end of the season, isn't it? I mean, but in terms of form, I mean, Bristol City can say the same thing, that they've suddenly taken a little bit of a dip now as well. Yeah, I think
it's just the stress, the challenge of getting into the playoffs. They get the yips. They can't help it. Whereas the teams at the bottom, like they get the feeling of oh shit, relegation's a reality here.
Yeah,
better start winning games. Get a wriggle on.
Thankfully, we did.
Yeah, but you know, I feel that is down to Matt Bloomfield. I really do. And like I said it, I actually watched back the video I did when Bloomfield was announced at Luton, my reaction. And I said, everyone, don't get on his back. Even if we go down, don't get on his back because this is the change we need. Or
I
something
still
along
think we
those
need to do
lines.
quite a bit of business.
Yeah, we do.
Huge
We
amount
need to
of
clear out at least 10 players.
Yeah, we need to still do some significant business. Build the team around Asgard, Ali, Isaiah Jones,
McGuinness.
Walsh. Build your team. I don't think Mengi will be here next season. I really don't.
No.
I think that he's all. I think he played well, but Mengi ain't going to be around. There's so many questions on players who will or won't be here. Let's just get survival done first and go from
Yeah,
there.
100%. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. We've still got a game to play and win, but I think there's less of a clear out needed than there was. I don't disagree with what Ollie said, but it's far less drastic. It's far less kind of
I revised
than it was looking.
I revised it. Oh, go away, Fly. Go away. I revised it. I revised it down from 15 to 10. I'll have you know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. There's definitely some players there that we would have, quite happily shown the door. And Liam Walsh certainly would have been one of them.
Will
not
Tahith
anymore.
John be here next year?
No.
Well, exactly.
No, I'll
Let's
drive him.
discuss that.
I'll drive him anywhere.
He's on my list to go, and I'm sure he's on Ollie's as well. But yeah, I think Bloomfield. Exactly that. What I mean though is that Chong epitomised at one point at least. The seemingly kind of too good to play at the level attitude that most of the players seem to have, and it's not that anymore. You've got a team that are absolutely fighting tooth and nail to win games, and it's so good to see. It really is. So, what do you reckon then in terms of who plays against West Brom? Who are you putting in? What are changes? Assuming that Walsh, let's say Walsh is available, are you changing anything?
If Walsh isn't available, click her straight in and go again.
Yeah.
And that's probably it.
Makoso start because he came off at half time, which I thought was quite interesting.
He took a
obviously-
whack in the Bristol City game, didn't he? Do you remember?
Yeah, but they always
So-
take him off. They've been taking him off routinely at like 60 minutes anyway. I think.
Yeah, it's been an ongoing thing for him. So yeah, Makoso's okay. I'd start him. He reads the game so well.
I like it. He really
for
enjoys
me-
it as well, doesn't he?
For me, I'd find a way to ensure that Clark plays regardless of whether Walsh is back or not. We need the
I
experience.
don't
for
think
that
Walsh
last
will be
game.
back.
No, okay, I think he probably will. But either way, I think we need experience. And for me, Lamine Fanny's been great, but we need people that can do it in the big games. And there's no one better
I get that.
than Clark in the big games for me to play. And so does Naismith for me as well. I would sacrifice Mengi for Naismith and Fanny for Clark, regardless of the
Fair
Walsh
calls.
situation.
Fair calls.
But how you guys feel?
I think Fanny had a
I
great
think that's
game.
fair.
I think Fanny had a great
I
game.
agree.
Fanny's
It's
been
more.
playing well.
Yeah. He there was a little mazy run where he beat two players. He was excellent. I just want the experience, and we all know Clark turns up for the big games. I
Yeah.
just want him in
Indeed.
there.
No, absolutely.
Indeed.
Right. Well, we've overrun. Simon, thank you very much for joining us, mate.
Have a good evening, lads.
This
Yeah.
night. Take care.
See you later.
So he does this thing where he leaves. I don't know how that happens. By the way, Lewis, I got a fly earlier, so it's actually fly 1, Ollie 1. I've still got a bit of fly on my hand where I clapped it. Yeah.
That's the kind of detailed info that we need.
Yeah, fly dust. I don't know what the actual technical term is. So Brocky's waiting in the green room, but I've said we're gonna finish this up. But he wants everyone to know. Let's stop with the Walsh brown nosing, because yeah.
Oh, let it go, mate. He's brilliant.
He's good. He's good. He has a point. He is a deep lying playmaker, but in that role, he's not expected to make too many forward passes. He's not expected to make the final balls. You know, what I do like about Walsh is he's actually pretty good as a tackler. But I do feel him and Asgard would benefit from a younger, better Nakamba next to them. Because let's face it, Nakamba's been an absolute toilet signing. 3 mil.
Well,
His best
so,
football.
yeah.
His
Since
best
the
football for
permanent,
Luton.
yeah,
Yeah, he's been a terrible permanent signing. His best football
Mm.
came in our promotion season. Since then, he's
course.
been absolute trash.
Been injured for most of the time, though.
Exactly.
To be fair, hasn't he? Look, I mean, we've talked Welsh, so I know Brocky's feelings on Welsh. I think he's, for me, he's absolutely carried the midfield. I think he does a lot of the work a huge amount of the work in terms of keeping the team moving forward. I don't think it is just sideways passing. He doesn't necessarily always ping one from one side of the pitch to the other, like Naismith does or Mengi tries to do with limited success in the last game, but can do. But he keeps it going. He just chooses the right pass every single time. Whenever he's on the ball, I don't think he's going to lose it, and that's what you need. That's what you need in the midfield.
Yeah, in terms of him
So
being
that would be
super
my only
duper
argument for
fiery.
Welsh, and we took the red card.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind that.
He's a scout,
He's a
so
scouser.
he's gonna be.
What do you? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Exactly. But no, look, I think we taught the red card. That my opinion on it is what I've said, and I understand other people have got different opinions. I think it was incredibly harsh from the ref, but look, regardless, I think we need him in that final game. It would be great to have him available. He's certainly a positive there if he is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Nick and Mel says Nakamba could go in the back of my car with Hashioka and Chong. I think I'm going to need a stretch limo to take all these players everywhere I got to go. I'll just chuck them in the back of a dump truck, to be honest. Nakamba, Chong,
Don't
Hashioka,
put him in there. No.
Woodrow, they
You
can
never
all
do that.
go. And Lockyer as well, he can go as well. I've had enough of him.
No.
Yeah.
What,
But
Tom Lockyer, who's not even played a game of football because he was out with his
Still-
heart issue and his 2 injuries that he had.
I don't know how they botched an ankle surgery. Gave him an ankle surgery.
Well, that's not Tom.
botched
He
it.
didn't do it himself.
Yeah, he's still
he didn't do it.
he's still
What
getting
do you
a
want from the bloke?
salary. He's still getting a salary.
Oh,
I'm fed
God.
up.
Well,
I'm fed up.
It'll be an interesting situation with Lockyer, as he's already said, isn't it? His contract's up in the summer anyway. So
Wonderful. I'm
we will
delighted.
see.
Yeah.
No, I love Tom Lockyer on the pitch. I think he's fantastic, and I'd like to see him.
I don't want to
if
see
he
him
wants
back on the pitch. I don't want to see him die for a third time. Like, your heart can
Well,
still
no,
stop
of course.
even with the hardware in. It just means it
Listen,
will
I'm
start
gonna
it back
trust
up
that-
again.
I'm going to trust the £1 million an hour surgeons that they've used, the same as Ericsson on that one. But fine. But let's see. We'll find out with Locks.
Don't know. Mats, no. Yeah. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to be a wage thief, he should get on the bench and G up the boys. Like normally, I see the players in the tunnel, like just before the end of the game. Lockyer wasn't there. Where was Lockyer?
You're on Lockyer. What?
Where
I
was
love-
Lockyer? Oh,
Where's
Tommy,
Lockyer? You
Tommy.
electronically
Tommy,
tagged.
Tommy,
Make sure he's
Tommy,
in
where
there
are
every
you?
time.
Yeah, but to be honest, I wouldn't mind him being electronically tagged. I'd like to know where Tom Lockyer is. He's property of Luton
Right.
Town Football Club until the end of the year. So, yeah.
Unbelievable. Right. Okay. Well, let's have this conversation after the West Brom game, and you can spout your nonsense about Tom Lockyer.
Well, we'll see what happens. I just feel he should be in and around the squad, seeing as he is the club captain allegedly.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, he was in the Kenny end. Was he really?
Wow. Right. there you
Wait,
go,
no.
you see.
Kate says, was he not on Sky this week? The Sky Studio. I don't know. Just maybe.
He was for
Maybe.
one of them. I can't remember which one it was.
Who knows?
But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it's gonna be a long old week.
Oh, there,
but-
Curtis Davis.
yeah.
I think Curtis Davis has been to Kenilworth Road more frequently than Tom Lockyer has this year. I'd take him back. He can
Yeah.
still play.
Would you? Right. Okay. I feel like this is going in circles. I thought we were finishing. How long? We're
We're finishing.
The
finishing.
Tom Lockyer phone.
Yeah. So
At this point.
we've done the post match phone in. Now it's time for the Tom Lockyer hour.
This usually happens once we've gone off air. I have to listen to this afterwards, everyone, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll go rent a minibus and we can all decide who I'm going to drive around the country, chucking out the car to various regional football teams around the country. Everyone, I hope you all have a great week. It's going to be a very long week, isn't it? Well, we got this.
It is.
We got this.
We can do it. We can do it.
Remember, Champ Chat is now on the channel. We had a good time. Me, Phil, Wedge, down the pub. Luton Town show dropping tomorrow, maybe about 3 p.m.-ish, I reckon. Kate will confirm in the comments. Everyone, take care. Subscribe if you're not already. And did I forget anything else? I actually can't remember. Everyone, have a great week. More content coming. Join us in the Brickies. That's what I forgot to say. Join us in the Brickies, West Brom. If you're not going up to West Brom, join us in the Brickies. We're going to have an open mic that people can jump on, jump off. It's sort of going to be like a Luton Town show mixed with a post-match phone-in. So trying something a bit new, a bit different. Join us. But most importantly, have a great week and come on, you Hatters.